David.
Hello, and welcome to our morning talk show on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6:30, where we talk about games or just about anything. It's Over Coffee, and I'm here with my co-hosts, Rich, John, and Doug, and it is the year of the apocalypse plus, Monday, the 10th of May, and I got a chance to play some Twilight 2000. Oh, I talked about that on Friday. I'm sorry. I got a chance to play Trick Lock, a board game by Chip Theory Games, yesterday with my wife Ginger. Have you guys got a chance to play anything this weekend?
No.
No.
But I went to a virtual wedding.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, my cousin got married yesterday. Everybody joined house party. So
Okay.
there was some people there, right? So my aunt was there. My aunt joined on house party, which I don't really get. It's nothing but another Zoom. And so we got together and we got to see the wedding. So it was a lot of fun. So people that couldn't make the trip to Florida,
Right.
were all able to be there.
You know, Ginger has a wedding officiant business, and she advertised that she does Zoom weddings, but she really didn't take any. She didn't really get any takers for it.
Yeah, well, the wedding itself was in person. We were just on Zoom. Well, we weren't on Zoom. We were on house party.
Okay. That's interesting. What about you, Doug and John? Anything interesting this past weekend?
No. I played some games with Dan yesterday. We went back and just did a couple of hours of Raft, which we kind of had like a realization, and I think we might have, at least up until the next update, exhausted everything that Raft can offer us.
Okay.
Because the thing about it is, so it's one of those open world survival games, and you craft and you do stuff and whatever, and it's fun. But the thing is that a lot of the stuff that you can get that really kind of like automates and make things easier and really radically transforms your entire ship, you can only get once you've already played the game for like a certain amount of hours, and you've kind of already hit like some of the, at least as of the current update, like the like basically the end of it. Like now we have a lot of things that are doing things like it's automating fresh water for us, and we can plant we could recharge power and stuff like that. And the problem though is, like I said, we're already at the end of it. So it's like, it's cool that all this stuff is here, but like, to what purpose? We don't really need it. We were already doing just fine. And to get to where we needed to be, we didn't need to rely on this stuff. It's all just comforts, but at a time when it's not important. And I granted, like, maybe the game is going to go on for who knows how long. Like, the game's already been around for a couple of years, so I don't know how much more they're going to add to it, or if they think they're just going to keep making content for it forever. But you kind of get what I mean. It's interesting that we're kind of unlocking all the final stuff that there is, but it's also all the final stuff, and we're only unlocking it because there's nothing else for us to do at this point.
But so did you get the piano for your Raft? Diner asks.
No, because like, why would you get a piano? Like, I know you can get a piano. We chose not to because it's dumb.
So no, Zynar, they did not get the piano for the Raft.
And also, Zynar, he specifically said the Raft is dumb. So I'm sorry.
No. Piano is dumb.
Oh, sorry. The piano is dumb. That's right. My bad. I was thinking Raft while thinking piano, and said Raft.
Well, John, would you recommend other people try out Raft? I mean, you've had fun, right?
It was fun and it was relaxing. I think there was one major stumbling block that I ran into, which did kind of, for lack of a better word, take the sales out of the game for me.
It does add class, though. The piano.
What?
Zynar says the piano adds class.
That's class.
Yeah, but John, we all know that John doesn't want class, just wants functionality.
It's definitely a multiplayer game. Like, I would strongly recommend that you play it if you have other people to play it with. I wouldn't really recommend it. Like, it's not bad single player, but it's a very different game. And number two, it's just a little bit weird because there's certain things about the game that I kind of see it doing well, but other things about it stumbling over itself. And it's like, I just don't know what it's, without overhauling things, I don't know what the future of that game holds.
Right. Okay.
I think that's
you,
one of those
Doug?
problems.
Did you get a chance to play anything this weekend?
No.
He just says no. Well, there you go. I guess you didn't. It's
Yeah,
fair
no.
enough. So I don't think we talked about a topic before the thing began. John, you're usually our topic guy.
Well, we did talk about a topic. It was just a different type of topic. We talked about contemplating jumping platforms, and the pros.
True. Good point.
We talked about jumping platforms from Twitch to back to YouTube, and the reason why is because we feel that we may be able to do this show a few times. We can do some pre-recorded and put them up there and structure it a little bit better. I mean, we could still do the tapings live if we wanted to, but then we would put the videos up at the appropriate time, and Zynar would be able to join us more often,
Right.
or at all, because we can record them ahead of time.
With the other interesting thing with not being necessarily a live show on Twitch is we could give Zynar a topic, or give anybody else a topic, and say, send us a 1-minute video about the topic, and then splice that into a video, and then put it on YouTube.
Yes, yeah, we could.
Or have people send video questions, or
right, and we could talk about videos. We could play a video and go, oh, okay, and then talk about it and critique it and make sense. Or when John says, hey, you guys need to watch this clip. All right, is this clip less than 2 minutes? Yeah, sure. All right, we can take a look at it right there.
Right.
It's harder to do all that live without a full-time producer.
Right.
But what else was I gonna say? I don't know. I was gonna say something about Doug and I forgot.
Well, I guess we got a lot of there's a lot more potential. It wouldn't be live. There certainly is, or maybe not all of it would be live, because we could do YouTube live also. But
the other thing is we spoke about is the return of the weekly word.
Yes.
And what I was thinking with the weekly word is, Dave, you can actually have a news segment on the weekly word.
That'd be great.
And it would be better because then then this show could focus on the stupidity of the things around us.
The stupidity of what?
Of the things around us.
Okay, there you
So
go.
Zynar says I overestimate his availability. I said more often, Zynar.
Right.
And since you haven't joined us at all, more often would at least be once.
Yeah, a minutia of 5 minutes. Jesus, Zynar, come on.
I guess there is one thing we were hoping from Twitch that it does provide, but YouTube Live also provides it, is real-time chat. But we don't, at 6:30 in the morning, we got Zynar. That's the only one that's chatting with us.
Yeah, and it's not, and believe me, that's fun. But also the videos go away after a while, and it's harder to promote the live show. And we had momentum coming into Twitch. We had a lot of momentum, right? We had a lot of good shows. We had it's 5:30 for Zynar, but we had a lot of good shows. We had people showing up and everything like that. But to sustain a live audience, unless you're doing something very, very specific, which we're not. We're a channel. We're not a show, and that was our problem. We're starting to see the impact of that.
Now the weekly word was really starting to get some watchers. I probably, out of the last 10 shows of it, I probably saw 6 of them, and I was on 2 or 3 of those.
Yeah.
And we were starting to get up to, for a small time network, this doesn't sound a lot, but we were starting to get up to 12 to 20 people watching live.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. So we think it may be time to. We have a LITT YouTube channels. So we should probably focus on one and get there. And then look, if the calling ever brings us back to Twitch, then we should come back. But
Or just include it.
or right, or just include it. But we think that the best move for us is to make the jump now.
Well,
And
the benefits far outweigh anything else. You know, it's
well,
we can give
absolutely.
more focused content. We can give more content eventually. You know, like, even without a producer, it's 10 times easier for us to do random things in our off time to do for that. For our YouTube channel, to give people what they want rather than having to schedule the time to come on to hear with everyone involved or yourself and prep for a live show. And then also with some of the rules and regulations when Twitch comes, it's just a little bit, it's just a little different.
So Zynar, you're kind of right. So Zynar says probably lost the TR crowd by now, which is the Thread Raider crowd. So yes, as a whole, but they weren't actually our main supporters, like individuals here and there, but no one was on this for this show. Nobody was like was there, but yeah, that was tough.
There wasn't really a whole lot of engagement with those guys.
Yeah, we what we lost is when we first started this out, there was more engagement from our own network. I mean, Long Island Tabletop has a huge network, and there was more engagement from them. But as shows were canceled, as the ability to do things online was cut, we lost momentum, and we lost that engagement as well. As a matter of fact, we actually lost we lost a Long Island Tabletop member to Thread Raiders right before Thread Raiders broke up.
I didn't know that. That's funny.
Yeah. You know Mike Sforza?
Yeah.
So I introduced them to the Thread Raiders crowd and everything like that, and he slowly stopped, though predictably, stopped hanging out with anybody on with us. He stopped playing in my D&D game and things like that. And by the way, the kid never promoted us. I love Mike. Don't get me wrong, I do. But he never promoted us. But now I see his Twitters all the time for Maddie Game.
Okay.
And again, I don't care, right? But I'm laughing. I'm going, it never did that when we asked.
Yeah, he was game master in several shows. He didn't promote his own show.
No, he was never a game master.
Wasn't he game master?
No.
I thought he was game master.
No, he was a player in basically D&D.
Yeah, I remember that. Okay.
He never promoted basically D&D.
He's a player.
He did DM for a couple of the Long Island Tabletop conventions.
Yes. Yeah, and he was a huge help, right?
Maybe that's why.
He was also a huge volunteer. He ran desk with Courtney, and he was a general. Look, the kid is great. It's just I thought it was very, very funny that he just disappears off the face of the earth, and now, he's over on that side. I don't know if Red Raiders
did he move?
Faction. Yeah, he went to Florida. He moved to Florida. So.
And yeah, Thread Raiders broke up, right?
Yeah, they did. Thread Raiders did break up. I don't have all the details behind it. I just know that people went in their own directions. I've talked to individuals, and we talked to Zynar all the time. But
yeah,
not
I remember seeing
about
some
that.
announcements.
Yeah, I haven't been able to get in touch with CA. She's closed down everything.
Okay.
I'm curious.
I hope she's
if
okay.
it's the same kind of thing that we're dealing with terms of like Okay, let me ask you a question. Did Thread Raiders break up pre-COVID, or was it just something that happened during COVID?
No, it happened. It only happened recently.
Yeah,
I think it happened in February. Zynar, correct me if I get any of this wrong, because I only know cursory stuff. I wasn't involved.
Cursory.
I remember seeing an announcement on Discord that we're like,
yeah,
we're changing leadership, we're reorganizing the channel, and then like a couple weeks later, then it was like, okay, we are no longer. It was something like that. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's yeah, COVID was not the factor. I think it was personalities and um
It was like Matthew McConaughey's failure to launch. None of them can leave mom's house.
Well, it's tough, it's like being in a band, Rich, which it's like you got to all the personalities in a band create it naturally creates tension.
yeah, it was yeah, absolutely. And I thought that it was just stressing out members.
Deadlines and responsibilities and timing and personalities and skill levels all create a massive amount of tension whenever you're trying to get a project done, just like any project in any business.
Yeah, and I think there was a few arguments. I mean, that's what I got the sense of, but I don't know the details. I don't know anything behind it. And it's a shame because there were some good people I met and
They're
friends with
not
some good
dead.
people.
Yeah, they
They're
had
not
some
dead.
really good shows. They had a lot of graphic support. I noticed.
No, well,
Uh,
Doug, individually
Let's
they're not. That's true, but they're not. They're not together.
But we could bring them back together. We could join them
No,
with the power.
that is not our responsibility.
we
Well,
could
we
absorb them into LI Tabletop, although most of them don't live on Long Island.
Well, you know what? I think Joel. I think that's the one thing that leadership in Long Island Tabletop needs to get over, right? We're an online. That's why I keep referring to us as Lit instead of Long Island Tabletop.
I I have always said ever since I was a teenager and interested in owning my own business that I would never name something like like Main Street Board Game Cafe. Okay, that's fine. What happens if they open a second location that's not on Main Street?
It's okay. It's called Main Street Board Game Cafe, Pia 2.
Right. Oh, but the other thing is people name stuff after the town, like I don't know, Bethpage Lumber. What happens if you open a location that's not in Bethpage?
Bethpage Lumber in Deer Park.
Right, right. Well, actually, there's a somebody's Pizza of New Hyde Park, but it's in Deer Park.
Yeah.
Right.
Umberto's or something like that. So it
Yeah.
happens. So
No, but I'm
yeah,
saying, naming something after a location, when you name something Long Island, now some people might feel weird if they want to join the channel from California.
But it originated on Long Island.
True. I agree. And certainly there's counter arguments to my point.
So Zynar says there were internal management issues, and TR is dead. Trust was lost. So yeah, I kind of got that. I don't know the factors. I don't know the extenuating circumstances. I kind of um I kind of only talked to certain members after our online thing last year, and not for any particular reason except for I kind of had a falling out with their management
Oh boy.
with Thread Raiders management, but I kept it under the hat because we still wanted to work with them and we didn't want anybody to not support them. So Courtney and I made a decision to just not, as an organization we couldn't work with management, and it was only one person in management, and it was because of what happened. Um, somebody at the day before. Yeah, well, yes, I'm sure. I know. I know you. I was pretty sure that you did too. But what happened is the day before we went live. I don't know if anybody remember. Well, John, you may remember this. Doug, you weren't back on the scene yet. But we set up a huge. Well, we tried to do an online convention because it was canceled last year, right? Long Island Tabletop was supposed to get its first own convention last year, and
Yeah.
everybody worked so hard, and oh, because it was canceled, we said let's do it online and let's move it to online. So I took the reins, I ran with it. John was right there, and we realized that we didn't have experience. So I turned to Thread Raiders to help us out because they were doing these things constantly every quarter or every other month. And CA stepped up and said absolutely, and she brought everybody in and we talked and we got it done. And the person that she put in charge, um, I guess kept making suggestions behind the scenes to me, which were good suggestions. So
Right.
I gave this person recognition in meetings. I'm like, oh, and share a conversation, which there was nothing wrong with the conversation. It was just between this person and I, and didn't say that that bothered her. So apparently there was something else that happened that I gave recognition for, and the day before we went live. So we started the convention on Friday, and we had been working for 4 weeks before that. So the Thursday night, this person was key to our schedule, emails me and says, I can't do this. I'm backing
Good Lord.
out. And then had the nerve in the statement to say that they consider themselves a professional,
Yeah.
and they can't do this. I saved it because I like to laugh at it once in a while, because that is the furthest thing from professional I have ever seen in my entire life. Professional would be go through it, then turn around and say, I'm not working with you anymore,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But the day before the show starts, you don't do that, because then I had to scramble and find coverage, and I think I wound up working 20 something hours uh, over like either the first night or the second night to help fill in.
It's so crazy.
So understand, like, so when I brought this to Courtney, oh, sorry, Zainar. So when I brought this to Courtney, Courtney and I had a conversation, and we both agreed we didn't want to alienate Thread Raiders or anything like that, because we had a lot of respect for CA and some of the members and the ones that actually helped us. So we decided to just keep that to ourselves for now, and we just weren't going to work directly with them as an organization. So that's what happened. So since then, I had lost interest in helping because of that experience. And this person was management, and was senior management in the organization, was really second in charge, and so I just couldn't work with this person.
Jeez.
I mean, do
Well,
you blame me?
no, I don't blame you. I think that that's like a really freaking, pardon my French, but that is a shitty situation.
Yeah.
And, whoever, like, unfortunately, we do live in and we work in an industry where, like a lot of people are kind of more introverted than they are extroverted. And even though they think that, some people may think they're, of that professional caliber, they, when it comes down to brass tacks, getting in front of the spotlight or getting in front of, a crowd, their fears get the best of them. So like, I don't know why it happened, and I don't know, what triggered it, behind that kind of information, like what the real reason was. And I don't want to even pretend to think that, I would even guess, but I you guys handled yourselves as well as you possibly could, and you did, it's great. But it's unfortunate that this situation has affected, the entire crowd. It kind of sucks, but I mean, hey, listen, from the ashes, something else may grow out of it. You never
Oh, yeah, you don't. It's very possible, Zynar, because there were very few people in management that acted like this. So what also bothered me, Doug, and I agree with you completely. What also bothered me is that this person didn't have the nerve to tell me the first time, because in the statement it said this is the second time this has happened. Well,
know.
I didn't know about the first time until this letter. So, um, you know, if you don't tell me, how am I going to change my behavior?
It's like if you don't say something, nothing can change.
Right. So in a professional manner, because I am a manager, I do lead people, not just in a side organization or this. This is what I do for a living. I crafted an email or a message, because it was all on Discord. I crafted a message and I sent it back. I've heard nothing ever. I heard nothing
Uh,
ever. And you want to know something? It was a completely unprofessional move, and it's the type of person that I don't really want to work with. So
Yeah, I get the unprofessionalism. You know, there's a ton of that out there.
Yeah, especially when you put the word professional in the statement. How dare you?
I know.
How dare you call yourself professional and then leave people hanging in a lurch the day before? I mean, not for nothing, but LITT is not a not-for-profit organization. It is a profit organization, and we were trying to do something free to keep the brand name going.
Yeah.
How dare this person do that?
Yeah, that was kind of that's kind of so like, you know what? I think that those things that you guys did though were pretty cool, and I'm pretty sure that we should definitely do interesting things like that again, like from the YouTube perspective, because we could totally do live on YouTube. A lot of the people that I follow for you know, like for any tabletop stuff, they always do some sort of live show, and they do it on their YouTube. They stream it sometimes through their Twitch and Instagram at the same time, because you can do that, right?
Yeah.
So you know that there is always room for that, but like remember, they've built a brand, they've built up this, you know, a huge following, and then they started doing the live stuff, which is okay.
It's
you know.
I agree with you. I mean, come on. Listen, I think with YouTube, I think YouTube is going to be better for us in the long run, because then we can bring forward all of our assets, right?
Yeah.
We know popular people. We know that they want to do something. We know that they can't do live streams, but they would absolutely do other things. I mean, come on. David O'Miller came onto the Weekly Word when we were doing it. It's a lot of fun, you know?
Yeah,
I'd
and
love
not
to
only that.
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. No, I thought you were pausing for a second.
No, I
Keep
was,
going.
I,
Finish it
no, I
up.
was gonna say I'd love to get our friend George on, but you know he's never gonna come on a live stream this early.
Right. No.
So
Yeah,
uh,
that's true.
I'd love to do a celebrity game, right?
Oh,
We have the contacts to do a celebrity game, but we can't do that live. So I
right.
think YouTube in the long run is gonna be better for us.
Oh my God. And I have such a great idea for like when cons come back. Um, you know, like we could do every time we could travel to cons and whatnot and do like an interview kind of a thing and make an interview show
Yeah,
on, like, you know, that'd be pretty sick.
absolutely.
You know, I could run around and just talk to people, you know, and just be like, oh my God, you look so cool.
Only if
How
you
long
do it.
did it take you to make this costume? 300 days. And I'll be like, wow, that is an incredible waste of time, and then run away, you know?
Yeah, but what you got to do is you got to run around in like underwear, but like superhero underwear, and say, 15 minutes I went to Walmart. All right, John, take us home.
Wait,
You're on
hold on.
mute.
John is on mute. I love
John
this
is
one.
on
Okay,
mute.
let him keep going. I want to watch him
Oh,
work.
come on.
I didn't realize.
That's
All right,
okay.
so tonight at 9 o'clock is World Salad. Join us.
Don't join.
for that.
Don't join.
Stop
Don't
it.
join.
Stop it.
And catch us again Wednesday and Friday at 6:30 for another episode of Over Coffee. Again, thank you so much for watching, and good morning.
I am keeping measured. No, I'm just measuring. Sorry. Good
Rich
morning.
was trying to. Rich was pretending that he had something, working with something more than he is. Anyway, good morning.
Jerk. Zyla, good talking to you. We'll talk to you soon.
Rich could barely get the words out.